Break time is over for TNT Tropang Giga as they begin a new campaign in the PBA Governors Cup. TNT will play its first game tomorrow when they face the 2-0 NLEX Road Warriors at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. This is one of the first games that will see the return of fans since March of last year. The Tropang Giga seeking to replicate its championship run in the Philippine Cup. They will field PBA newcomer Mackenzie Moore as their import for the Governors Cup. Besides bringing in an import, TNT also retooled its local lineup ahead of the Governors Cup. In part one of my interview with TNT head coach Chot Reyes, he talks about the adjustments that Tropang Giga made. He also explains why they're not exactly at their peak form just yet.
We're far from ready because as you know, we were the last team to play, kami ng Magnolia, and we took quite a bit of some time off. Mainly because we had a lot of injuries. I don't think people realize by the end of the tournament we were badly hobbling. People don't realize second half of Game 5 of the finals, Troy Rosario no longer played. In the last quarter, Kelly Williams no longer played. Kib Montalvo underwent surgery after the finals.
Wow.
And so he's out. Troy Rosario is still out. Kelly Williams is just getting back into 100% health. And then when our import arrived, he suffered a minor injury right away. So he started to join full contact practice maybe just a week now. So sinasabi ko nga, yung mga kalaban namin naglalaro na kami, hindi pa kami nakaka-full scrimmage. So we're far from ready.
Yeah. Let's talk about some more about your import. You mentioned Mackenzie Moore. 2 weeks already here, but 1 week practice pa lang with the team. You know, he's new to the PBA, but no stranger to TNT. He did play for TNT in the East Asia Super League back in 2019. Coach Chot, why ultimately go with him in the Governors Cup? I know you had a couple of options, knowing you and your team, the way you scout players. I know you have a list, but why opt to go with someone like Mackenzie Moore for this Governors Cup?
Well, the first thing is familiarity. The fact that some of the players have already played with him, that was a big factor. He's very familiar with Mikey Williams as well. They know each other very well. So those were big factors in our decision. Also, the other options that we were looking at, some of the players we were looking at were either not available or had some problems because iba yung situation of imports now because of all the travel restrictions and requirements. It's not as easy to just fly in a player from overseas. So when we knew that Mackenzie Moore was available, we said, you know, let's get someone who's already here. I thought bird in hand was better. At least nandito na, kilala na natin. And that was one of the major factors. The second thing was what he brings to the table. I think his versatility, his ability to play multiple positions, plays very well into our system. And I think we can use him in different situations, in different spots on the floor. And as you know, the way we play the game, our bara-bara style, tingin ko bagay si Mackenzie.
So far, okay naman siya, Coach? Like fitting in well with your locals, chemistry-wise, system-wise?
Yeah, he's fitting in well in that sense. But really, my concern is the kind of shape he will be in. Will he be in tip-top shape?
Yeah.
And as you know, the requirement for imports here is really very difficult, right? Very high bar, high expectations on imports. They have to carry huge loads in conferences. So we're trying to figure out a way where, at least at the start, we don't require Mackenzie to carry that much of a load first.
I got to speak to NLEX head coach Yeng Giao, Coach, before the Governors Cup tipped off. I think a week or 2 weeks ago. Sabi ni Coach Yeng, kinuha daw nila si KJ McDaniels as their import after TNT passed up on him. Was KJ McDaniels on your radar? Like, did you consider possibly getting si KJ McDaniels for this conference?
Definitely. I like the way KJ plays. But in the end, in our final evaluation, there were some factors that the coaching staff decided, because they know KJ more than I do, having had almost an entire conference with them in the past. And they felt that we needed a different kind of import from what KJ can bring to the team. So this was really a decision that I relied on those who knew KJ more than anything else.
Coach, let's talk about your locals naman. Yes, you did make some tweets with your local lineup. You picked up Gab Banal, who played for Alaska in the last conference. Then you also acquired Carl Brian Cruz in a trade with Blackwater. I know nung Philippine Cup, coach, sabi mo, yung mga pickups nyo, very crucial yon. Yung mga nakuha nyo, sina Heruela, sina Dave Marcelo, the players that you got, sina Kubuntin, na played crucial roles for you. So I know these players will also play pivotal roles in this conference. Let's talk about Gab Banal first, Coach Chot. What did you see in him? Why did you sign Gab Banal, and what can he offer to already a solid team in your system?
Well, first of all, we were not really actively looking for players, but for example, the situation with Gab, he just messaged Josh to say that he wasn't going to be signed by Alaska. So I said, sure, if he can get his release, we're willing to talk. And when that happened, we did talk, and he led the league in 3-point shooting percentage the last conference. I don't think it was a very difficult decision to make when you have an opportunity to pick up a player essentially for nothing. To pick up the league's leading 3-point shooting percentage guy for nothing. I think that was an easy decision for us to make. Yeah. Next, the same thing with Carl Brian Cruz. Blackwater approached us to ask us if we wanted CBC, and again for very little essentially. So we said, he'd be a great addition, a complementary player to add to our roster, and I think the kind of players that we're getting again, in the mold of Glenn Kubuntin, Brian Heruela, Dave Marcelo, hopefully players that we essentially are able to acquire without giving up anything much in return. I mean, we had to give up Jay Washington, who's a great player, but we played the entire conference we played the majority of the conference, the previous conference, essentially without Jay. He wasn't able to join us in the bubble. So, these are, I think, great opportunities that were too difficult for me to pass up.
How is CBC now? Is he still injured? I know na may injury si CBC. Makakalaro na ba siya right away on your first game, itong si CBC, or will it take time for him to suit up for TNT?
Well, in terms of injury, no, structurally he's okay, but he still has a long way to go in terms of strengthening the knee that underwent operation, the surgery, the ACL. He's still a long way from being 100% in tip-top shape. But in a pinch, we can play him because, like I said, he's able to join full practices. That's but good. He's still far from being in the kind of shape that he could be. So that's going to be a work in progress. We almost were not able to finish the last tournament in Game 5. I forgot to mention Ryan Reyes was out as well in the fourth quarter. Yeah. So the length, the rigors of a full tournament, hindi nakikita ng mga tao the toll it takes on players. We were very fortunate. That's why we really wanted to end the series in 5, the last finals, because we were really literally running out of players. Just one by one falling into the injured list. So the lesson there is just we need to make sure that we fortify our bench.
No bubble setup for TNT's comeback in the Governors Cup. Later, Coach Chot talks about the return of fans to the stands as the Tropang Giga play their first game in the import-laden conference. You're watching Sports Desk only here on CNN Philippines, where we go all out for the day's top sports stories. Stay tuned. And we're back. Thank you for joining us here on Sports Desk only on CNN Philippines. The TNT Tropang Giga will begin their Governors Cup campaign against a familiar face. They will take on former TNT import KJ McDaniels and the NLEX Road Warriors tomorrow. Now, in part 2 of my interview with Coach Chot Reyes, the TNT mentor talks about their first assignment plus the Tropang Giga's campaign in the ongoing 3x3 tournament.
Obviously, KJ will be on the top of our list because the fact that he's playing against his former team, that's going to give him some extra motivation.
Right.
But we can't discount the way the locals are playing. Kevin Alas, I thought, played a huge role in their last victory. The locals, their 3-point shooting was on point. That's something that we have to worry about. I think you know how NLEX plays, the kind of system that they run. They put a lot of pressure on defenses to be able to stop. Everybody knows what they want to do, and still they go out and do it and execute, because that's testament to their ability to execute. So we have to be able to defend. We know we're going to struggle offensively, and our only way to be competitive tomorrow is to find ways to slow them down. Hopefully we can defend them well enough to give us a chance to compete, because we know where we're going to struggle.
Again, eto coach, yung first game nyo nga tomorrow, NLEX, is also kumbaga special game for the fans, kasi one of the first PBA games to be played in front of fans after almost 2 years. Ang tagal ng walang fans, and yesterday I was talking to Com Willie, was so excited and happy about it. Even Coach Tim Cone, of course, Ginebra, alam naman natin, may 6-man yung fans. Pwede na ulit manood yung fans live starting tomorrow. And we also know, fans love Chot Reyes, and may mga fans ng TNT. It's gonna be your first time, Coach, tama ba, in front of fans since coming back? Di ba? Alam ko eh.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
In a PBA setting, first time.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? I want to get your thoughts, Coach Chot, on this.
I'm really, really excited for the fans. For us, I don't think it makes much of a difference. I hope lang we can kind of can maintain an even keel emotionally and not get too excited.
Yeah.
That's my concern for my team, for my players. But in terms of our preparation and the way we go around doing things and getting ready for the game, it's not going to be much different, except for the fans, really. It's going to be big for the fans and for the league, for the PBA as well, for us to finally be able to welcome a live audience back. And the final point is, I guess also it sends a strong message to the entire nation as well.
That's right.
About how hopefully we're slowly coming out of this thing, learning how to dance with the virus, learning how to live with it. I think that's very, very important. And if we can play our roles in the PBA to show the entire country, the entire Filipino people, that it is possible to live and play with the virus, then I think that's an important role that na kailangan namin gampanan.
I couldn't have said it better, Coach. Now, before I let you go, Coach Chot, and have your breakfast with your family, I want to talk about the TNT 3x3 team. Coach Chot, Coach Mau Belen and her boys. We had her and I believe Jeremiah Gray on the show when they won the first leg. They're doing a solid job. It's fun to watch them sa PBA 3X. Despite setbacks, yun nga, injury kay Jeremiah, last leg, they made it all the way back to the finals for the first time since winning the first leg. What are your thoughts, Coach Chot, on how this team is doing so far? And the 3x3 tournament, it's just really exciting basketball to watch.
Well, first of all, when the 3x3 was announced, our approach was very intentional. We said, this is not an additional supplementary side event for us. We really built a team to win. We really built a team we built the team to win in 3x3. That's why we assembled that kind of a lineup. I mean, we could have easily, instead of the players there, instead of the Samboy or Lervin, we could have easily had other guys, like the other guys on the 5x5 roster now. in that. But I said, no, we wanted to make sure that we put a team on the 3x3 that had a chance to win. And so we were lucky. It panned out. We knew we were going to sign Jeremiah Gray. So we wanted to make sure that we had players around him who would supplement and complement his talents. And that's the kind of team we built. It was also a great opportunity for Coach Mao to learn and grow as a coach. What better way for a coach to grow than to put her right in the fire, right? So we threw her into the fire, and she has performed admirably. She's had her challenges. The best thing that would have happened to Coach Mao is the adversity that she experienced, because she sometimes having early success is detrimental to a person's or a coach's career. And the good thing with Coach Mao is after she won, she has now experienced the pain of not even qualifying to the playoffs in the, not this last one, the previous to the last tournament. So I told her, very simply, stop looking. And so, just very naturally, they were looking for more players. Let us look for this. Let's sign all this. Let's take a look at the list of available guys. And I said, hey, wait. Before you do that, look at yourself first. I said, Coach Mao, you need to be a better coach. How about being a better coach first? Bago ka maghanap ng kung sinong player, idadagdag mo kung sinong ganyan, be a better coach. So she has responded, and she lost her first 2 games in the last leg, but they came back, went all the way to the finals. And like I said, fantastic performance. We can't ask for anything more. So kudos to the 3x3 team, kudos to Coach Mao, the coaching staff, and I hope they continue playing and performing well in the 3x3.